This episode of the Party Loaded podcast is proudly sponsored by Audible.com. Check out their awesome catalogue of audiobooks with over 180,000 titles to choose from. And be sure to grab a free audiobook on us and support the show by visiting audibletrial.com/endgame.
Let's party.
Hello and welcome back to Party Loaded. My name's Luke Retallick and this is episode 43 for Wednesday the 14th of September. Sitting here in a, I'm not gonna lie, fairly, let's just say sick state with three of my buddies who are also not feeling so great this week. So I will, without further ado, introduce them. We have, starting off tonight, Overheating Olly. Hello.
Hello, I'm actually probably the least sick now.
You are.
It's great.
Because you passed it on to the rest of us, motherfucker.
Yes!
Yeah. No, look, I mean, playing Dungeons & Dragons together in an enclosed room while you were coughing your guts up for a good 4 hours.
Yeah. I was sneezing my guts
up.
up.
A whole, shopping bag full of, snotty tissues at the end when you held that up. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely getting sick. You know, the end of the last episode, I said, could you please wear a hazmat suit so you don't make me sick? So I had an assignment due. Yeah. Not happy places right now.
No.
Imagine sneezing into that mask, though.
No.
Oh.
So, allow me to introduce Influenza Imogen. Hello.
Hello. Not quite influenza,
like
but yeah, I'm on struggle street.
Yep. And that leaves the one and only Jaundiced Jam. That was the only J I could think of. Jam, I'm sorry. It's probably not real flattering.
Oh,
I blame Oliver.
I'm sorry if you're dying.
Oliver.
Oh, it's terrible. So we've had probably one of the worst weeks on record with all four of us being sick as dogs. And I think, we've been intermittently fighting it off for the last couple of months. And this week it just seems like it all came to a head at the same time. And we've been feeling pretty sorry for ourselves.
Yeah.
Not to mention...
Sharing is not caring when it comes to you guys.
No, it's not been great.
Oh, but I wanted to share.
Well, people say that nerds don't go outside. See what happens when we go outside?
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Those vitamin D tablets have been seeing me through life for most of my childhood, goddammit.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, it's been one of those weeks, and I think in addition to that, a couple of us, Memo and myself in particular, having some pretty full on real life stuffs to deal with. So
some decent life happenings.
Yeah. It's always good, of course, to see ourselves through the sanity challenges with a bit of light gaming here and there, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about later tonight. So, what kind of gaming is great for us to dive into head first when we're not feeling the greatest, and I want to see out a week while we're feeling a bit sick and sorry and sore for ourselves. I can't even word. This is what this is doing to me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a great night.
It's happening.
Yeah, welcome to the Thunderdome, folks.
That's it. Well, everybody should know from, the last couple of months in particular that I have a regularly occurring disease, which is foot and mouth disease. And I have no doubt that that's going to rear its ugly head at some point tonight like it always does. So we will see.
Joys of editing.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I do the editing, because I have to suffer the pain of my own foibles. Anyway, let's talk gaming. What's been going on? I know we've got a fair bit of the usual sort of stuff, because retreating to our comfort zones is a thing when we're not feeling great. But Olly, you did something pretty cool this week. You want to tell us about your...
I tried something new out.
Yeah, what's going on?
I played the Battlefield 1 beta.
Nice.
And it made me realise that I never ever want to join the army. Ever.
Is that realistic?
Fuck that noise.
Oh, wow.
Yep, it is a visually gorgeous game. Holy shit. So I've got a pretty beefy PC set up, so I can crank the dial to 11. And my god, this thing is pretty. Goddamn. But yeah, it also makes me fully appreciate that I am not cut out to being a soldier because I have too much self-preservation. So, but no, it is a bundle of fun. So I tried out there's only one map at the moment, and it is a lovely little desert map, and you can either be the Allies or the Ottoman Empire, so it just depends really. There's two game modes. One is your sort of classic capture point one with 64 players, and the other one's a smaller sort of destroy objectives one with 24 players, I think. I never got to play that one. I've only done the really big one with the 64 players, and holy shit, that is fun. Like, goddamn.
So that's supposedly the big map that has like the blimps and tanks and all that kind of crazy stuff going on at once, isn't it?
There's no blimps.
Dirigibles.
There's... Damn, none of those either. There's horses, jeeps, tanks, there's planes, there's, at some point during the match, a giant train full of guns rocks up. It's hectic. On the artillery pieces, and then placed guns, the planes, holy shit. So I spawned in a plane once as a rear gunner, and that was nauseating.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh god. But yeah, it is immense fun. I am a huge fan of the destructible terrain. They've implemented that amazingly well. So you can start off, and let's be honest, big desert snipers are pretty potent, but in the sort of villages that you have to clear for your points, or like in the valleys and stuff, they're not too bad. And then once the buildings start getting exploded by tanks and artillery, you're like, oh shit, I need places to hide. And then snipers just start owning people. So snipers at the moment, quite good. Quite good. I mostly played a support class, which was the guy with the heavy machine gun who could give out ammo to people, and that was a bunch of fun, just running around with a giant gun going into people's faces. So that was great. I have tried the cavalry charge on a horse, and it didn't go well, but it was very fun to try.
So I've got a quick question as well. No, you go first, Memo.
I was just going to say, because I've not played the Battlefield games, and obviously as an FPS, it's not my wheelhouse. But so you just said you spawned one time in the plane. So you just spawned randomly. So there's like vehicles and things like.
No, not randomly. You can choose where to spawn. So you can spawn on squad mates.
Okay.
You can spawn on vehicles. So if a vehicle has a slot, you can spawn in it.
Oh, so
you can be like, I'm driving around, then suddenly I've got a gunner and a passenger. Woohoo!
Oh, so you
Awesome.
can choose, and then if it just waits until there's a spot there, or you've got like a priority system. So if there's not a spot in a plane, then you go to a car.
Then you can't. You have to go somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, very cute in that regards.
Nice. I was just going to ask about the horses. Now, this is probably going to seem like a fairly dark question to pose, but I'm actually really interested.
No, don't do it.
So horses, obviously one of the difficult sort of elements of the game to animate properly, because there's a fair few, moving parts, the legs sort of, articulating properly, a bit harder than a Jeep's wheels kind of moving around. When the horses actually get damaged or, I guess blown up, for lack of a better description, or if they get hit by a vehicle or any of that kind of stuff, does it actually look realistic? Is it something that they do well? Or
Yeah, no, they did a pretty good job in that regards. Horse v horse collisions look a bit but like a horse getting hit by a car, if it's already damaged enough to be killed by the vehicle running over, looks pretty horrific.
Yep.
I have seen two guys on horses get run over by a tank.
Oh.
That was mildly horrifying. I'm like, well, that's accurate at least. There's not like massive explosions of horse bits or anything like that. They fall over and crumple and ragdoll.
Yeah.
So yeah, the ragdoll physics for the horses are very good. They're essentially in game. They're like super light vehicles essentially. So anyone can jump on or off it, and you get weapon options because you're on a horse.
Yeah.
So you get like the sword and stuff like that, and that's a lot of fun. Yeah, they've done it very well.
I was just going to say, the only reason I was asking is not because I have a dark desire to see that kind of thing specifically.
Fucking hates horses, everyone.
No. Just because I thought
Horse
that would probably, because it's something that you're not used to seeing on screen in a game like that. It just struck me as one of those things that if they didn't do it properly, it would probably break you out of the immersion pretty easily. So, yeah.
No, the animation is, it's pretty good. Not going to lie.
Nice.
So I only encountered a couple of graphical glitches, and even then they weren't super massive game-breaking things. They were just like a texture had misaligned somewhere, or like a physics thing went a little bit crazy because of some previously unknown encounter with something. But yeah, apart from that, super solid beta, super fun, huge fan, and so yeah, Battlefield 1 I will be buying on launch.
Nice. Well, it's a pretty strong recommendation from Olly.
It is pretty fucking tops. It's easily better than the previous Battlefields, like the modern Battlefields. I prefer this one to that.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah. Nice. Really interesting era for sure. It's
I'm amazed it's taken as long as it has, but seeing how it's worked, I can understand that the technology hasn't really been there to do it justice. Because World War One, scale-wise, is just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I don't know if it's one of those things where when a lot of the early sort of Medal of Honor games started coming out, and when that genre was big, sort of going back about 15 years ago, where we started getting a lot of those military style shooters that have kind of graduated into what we get today from your Call of Duties and things like that. It seems like it was a period that had been very sort of much milked, and maybe they're just now coming back around to it where it's kind of what is old is new again. Yeah, but no, that's awesome. So
would recommend.
Is it going to be something that would be decent multiplayer funsies for the four of us, do you think?
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah?
It is amazing fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Sold. All right. That sounds good. All right. All right. What else is going on? We probably don't want to spend, our obligatory half an hour talking about Overwatch. Does anyone want to quickly sort of update on how their progress with the season's going, and then we'll move on? Olly,
I'm platinum.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm platinum. Everyone else sucks.
Yes. I suck big time because I've virtually not touched it. And Jam's just dying, so she probably hasn't had much of a chance either. No.
Hey, mate, I was dying and I made platinum.
That's actually pretty impressive. Well done, you.
Wrecked.
Nice.
I had to solo queue my way to victory.
Yeah. Well, I think Jam had a pretty good run with her placement matches, actually getting paired up with some people that didn't suck quite as much as we did for a good part of ours. So,
Well, it was mostly with friends, but I lost 3 out of the placement matches, and 2 of those had awful lag issues. I hit 4,000 ping in one for the whole length, and we had a dropout in another, which didn't seem to register in the game, so might have done much better.
Well, you've been having ongoing internet issues this last week. Have you finally sorted that out? It seemed like a...
Yeah, so a Telstra tech's going to come out. Fingers crossed. Figure it out. I don't know. I think it behaves like congestion, but everyone's trying to tell me, no, you're fine.
So you're congested, your phone line's congested. This is just freaking great, isn't it?
It's awful.
Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't played a whole lot of Overwatch this week because I've been wowing pretty hard. So, Imogen, I believe you've played a little bit as well, probably not as much as you would have liked to.
Yeah, definitely not as much as I would have liked to, but big ups to the Legion Companion app for keeping me in touch with the game. So the Companion app, which we mentioned last week, is pretty cool. So I've been sending my followers. So I just got to the stage of my order haul where I had to send followers out on a series of 5 quest-related ones. They finished that, but I haven't had a chance to log back on since they finished doing that. So well on my way to getting more followers, hopefully.
I've finally reached a point with my follower missions from my order haul where I've actually run out of order haul resources, so I can't send them on anymore until I find some more.
Yeah, I just before the podcast I sent them out, and I only have like 200 order haul resources left, so I need to do some concerted dungeoning and playing World of Warcraft with Jam so that she can find me those treasure chests, because I played one night without Jam or for a couple of hours, and I was like, oh, I'll do what Jam would do. And I didn't find one single one, so I don't know what your magic ability is, but I was looking for them, just didn't find them, so...
I am a lucky charm.
You are.
All those little hidden chests as well, from what I understand, are one-offs. So when you actually located them, they don't spawn again for your character. It's like, that's it. So
that's why when Jam takes us to them, she's like, it's here somewhere. Can you see it? She can't
found it earlier.
Yeah, it's over here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like, I'm actually wondering how it's going to go sort of after you finish a lot of the story-related quests, because that without doubt is one of the ways to generate quite a bit of the order haul resources, because you usually get like a bonus 200 or so for completing, significant parts of the storyline. And, beating various bosses that you kind of face as you progress through the narrative.
You've got world quests after that, which will get you resources and dungeons and things like that. Give you little... Yeah,
well, I hope they give you enough, because, one of the big differences that I've noticed immediately is that with the garrisons in Warlords of Draenor, the previous expansion, one of the things that existed with that you could kind of use in a similar way, because you had garrison resources which functioned almost identically, was that you actually had like a box right next to your headquarters, which actually filled up with resources. Yep. So
I feel like there'll be something else. I feel like auto haul will progress, and there'll be something that helps you generate them. I realise as well there's research that means that it takes less resources to do things, and so it's all. I think it's going to be more about a balance between collecting them and efficiencies.
Yeah, and using them like that.
Depending on-
That sounds about right.
But it's really good. I'm kind of at a stage with it now where I've moved too far in my quests and my leveling. So I've done High Mountain entirely now and Valshara. But now I'm up to what I would be doing is Stormheim. But then that's also clashing into sort of Auto and the main sort of quests. And so I'd already taken like the Stormheim initial quest, and then I got the quest to go back to my Auto and pick a way to go, and I couldn't pick Stormheim again, so I had to pick the other one, which I've forgotten the name of.
Ashara?
Ashara, yeah. So now I have like quests for 2 areas. I'm a level 108, so I'm going to hit 110 like way before I finish all 4 areas.
Yeah. Well, if it's any indication, I
want to finish those
109
areas
at the moment. I'm probably about to hit 110 maybe later tonight after we finish, if I do stay up and play. And I have finished 2 areas completely. So I've finished Valshara and Ashara 100%, like every quest in those areas, unless they pop up more later. And I'm about halfway through the other 2 areas. So yeah, there's probably, on balance, there's probably a whole area worth of story that I wouldn't have done before hitting max level. So, which is that's kind of cool. I think
I want to do them. So, and that's the good thing about them scaling now and it not being like a leveled area. It used to be you would level way past an area, so you'd be in Barrens, for example, and you'd level way past it, and then questing kind of became redundant.
Yeah.
Whereas now, because everything is scaled to you, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I can keep questing, and I can quest with lower people, and it's not having a significant impact on XP or things like that. So it's really good.
It means
really
you don't have to
enjoying
go
it.
through in a particular order as well, which is awesome. No, the questing setup's so much better, this expansion. Just cannot describe the sense that has gone into those decisions. It's awesome. Yeah, Jam, have you jumped in at all this week, or have you been waiting for a chance to play catch-up?
I think very briefly. I can't remember.
You tried to jump on, but your internet was being weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crappy. And my Legion app's not working at the moment, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
So, not really.
Sure.
But I played some Overcooked on the weekend.
Oh, nice. How did that go?
Yay!
I tried some solo, and it was hilarious because you get 2 dudes and you got to switch between them. So while one's chopping, you switch over to the other to run around like a mad idiot. Very difficult. It does scale so that it's possible to do well, but so difficult. And then I played a whole bunch with my sister, and we went back 3-starred some levels from before and tried some new ones. So much fun. Highly, highly recommend again.
I am sad that I'm yet to
Missing
play
it.
this game.
You should be sad.
Oh, I
should.
know.
This is a great
It's
game.
glorious.
Yeah. I would pick it up just for myself, but I got the distinct impression that wouldn't be, anywhere near half the fun that you
It's
guys
not.
have had.
It's still interesting, and there's still a challenge there, but with groups, just the best ever. I'm keen to play anytime.
All right, well, no doubt we'll have an opportunity in the near future when we all get together in a room and make each other sick again. That'll be fantastic. Hopefully we don't do that, but yeah. Now, just before we wrap up on our what we've been playing, I did have one very brief World of Warcraft related story which I wanted to sort of share with everybody. So I was roaming around in one of the areas the other night and came across a little Easter egg that I was completely unaware of until I encountered it. And now I've discovered that, it is a reasonably well-known thing, but it caught me totally by surprise. So I was running around the bottom of a mountain and I found this really strange sort of glowing portal. And I was just like, this looks like the sort of thing that leads into a dungeon, but it's not the same. So I wonder what it is. So I click on it and it takes me up to the top of the same mountain and everything's really brightly coloured and it, rainbow hues and, really, really sort of awesome looking. And there's these 2 unicorns just standing over to the side looking quite evil and a 3rd unicorn on the ground looking dead. And I'm just like, there's no other players up here. Why is there a dead unicorn on the ground? And then I noticed the nameplate over the dead unicorn and the nameplate was Charlie. And I was just like, oh, you are fucking kidding me. Blizzard wrote
showed us the way.
Charlie. Yeah, Blizzard actually wrote Charlie the Unicorn into Legion. I was so super impressed. So,
Oh, the best.
oh, it was awesome. Yeah, so I killed the two evil unicorns, and of course when you do that, there's a little treasure chest there that you open up, and I opened it up, and poor Charlie's kidney was inside. So
God damn it! It took my kidney.
super dark. Yeah. Oh man, that was the funniest.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube, type in Charlie the Unicorn. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Not safe for children. Be warned.
Not safe
No.
for children.
No.
Pleurodons, though, there's information about dinosaurs. That's exciting.
Super exciting. Yeah. You'll learn about the black market organ game though. That's yeah.
And Candy
Fun
Mountain.
facts. At Candy Mountain, yeah, exactly.
Mountain.
Oh no. They were apparently doing a sequel to that series at some point in the future. I don't know what happened with that. They were going to kickstart it or something. Oh, I don't know. I'll look it up at some point. Anyway,
Kickstart
super
a
fun.
sequel. Okay.
Yeah, well,
right.
I don't know. I mean, this is going back from the, some of the origins of internet memery around the time. I don't know how far after Homestar Runner this was. Probably a while, but I sort of, mentally place it in a very, very similar catch-all category of some of those early videos that really made it big on YouTube that everyone sort of remembers fondly. So,
Yeah.
Anywho, all right, so moving on to gaming news of the week, of which there is quite a bit this week, and we should probably spearhead it with probably the biggest thing that we were unable to cover in detail last week because of the timing factor. But Sony had some stuff to say, as it turned out. So Sony's big press conference to detail the future of the PlayStation franchise happened, and it was interesting. Did you guys follow any of the fallout from that?
I did. I was super excited to wake up the next day and there was going to be announcements and it was going to be fun and it was very exciting and it sounds really cool, but
Really, with the air, it must be super exciting then if
well,
it's air.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too ready for it to be super hyped and it just wasn't. It was just more information on
Yep.
teraflops. Yay. And then
Oh,
I
I love
stopped
my floppy
listening.
terrors.
Yeah. No, it was funny. Like, I mean, we could probably compare this on a user expectations kind of basis. I think what everyone expected going into this press conference was information about a new Slim PlayStation, because basically the Slim model had been leaked several weeks previous, to the extent that there had even been, hard models going around that had been broken down by tech analysts and actually shown pictures of before Sony officially announced it, which is a weird situation to have happen. But they all but refused to announce the existence of this thing, even though it had been irrefutably proven to be out in the wild, which is just odd. But I don't know, Sony are a bit like that sometimes. They like to control how their message gets out, and I don't know whether it's a good thing that they held off or not. I mean, time will tell. So everyone was expecting a bit of information about that. Everyone was expecting a bit of information about the PlayStation codenamed Neo, which we got, and we'll talk about that in a sec. And we're all expecting, I think, a bit more information about how Sony VR was going to launch and how that was going to shake out. So we kind of got 2 out of 3. We probably start with the VR stuff because that was probably the big surprise, and that there was very, very little messaging about PlayStation virtual reality at all. And look, I think it was super surprising initially, but when I think back on that, I think there's actually a lot of commercial sense to why they may have chosen to not have a lot of info about PlayStation VR. And that's because, A, they didn't necessarily want the rest of the messaging about their other 2 products to be overshadowed. And B, because I think that when you're talking about releasing information about a new, more powerful version of the core console model, they maybe don't want to send a mixed message that in order to enjoy PlayStation VR, you require the new model to do that. And if they had have focused on both at the same time, it may have given a bit of a mixed message in that regard. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think
No, that makes a bit of sense.
I think that's spot on. I think they don't want to mix messages is the summary of that, is that they have 2 individual products that they're announcing, and so they keep them distinct, and that avoids people thinking, well, now I have a PS4, but I can't get a PSVR because I need a PS4 Pro for that. So they don't want that to happen, like you said. So it makes sense.
Yep.
Marketing
Yep.
101.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, your average consumer won't necessarily see it that way, and image is important too. But I don't know. It's one of those things they'll have to deal with. All right. So the PlayStation Pro, which is probably the main one that we want to talk about today. The Slim, PlayStation Slim, I don't know, it's kind of just going to replace the standard model PlayStation. Really not a lot more to say about that. I don't know. Does it really matter to anyone who already has a PlayStation? Probably not. You're not going to dump your current model and go out and buy a Slim. It's just going to be, maybe people in similar positions to you, Imogen, where you haven't picked up a PS4 yet and you may consider doing it at some point in the future. You will now by
I'm not
default.
buying a Slim. I'm buying the old model PS4 that's about to be discounted by $200.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's probably not a bad
That's
call
the best
either.
thing about that announcement.
Yeah. Oh, look, the PlayStation 4 as it is a fantastic console, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that strategy at all. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Calm down
Yeah,
there,
but
fanboy.
anyway. Yeah. Look, it is. It's a great console. So, the Pro. What do you think about the name Pro for a start? Like, we knew it as Neo. Now it's PS4 Pro.
What happened with all of the cool names? Like PSVR, PS4 Pro. It's all very, I don't know, seems very muted.
Try hard.
Not try hard. It just seems muted. It is more professional, more sort of... I guess what they're trying to do is play to they're the technical console. They're the console for people who care what things are inside. So Xbox users, like inverted commas, all they care about is how much storage they have and does it look good enough. Whereas PS4, they want to know their teraflops, they want to know their processor speeds and converting to this and that. If they hook it up to this TV. So PS4 Pro, I think, is speaking to those people. Same people who'd buy an iPad Pro. Are the ones buying the PS4 Pro, maybe. So, yeah, it just makes it more technical. They're marketing to a more technical audience, or they hope a more technical audience.
Now, with the iPad Pro versus the PlayStation 4 Pro, there's probably an important difference there, and that's that when you're talking about iPads, it is actually a tool that could be used by professionals, in large businesses and corporations in their pursuit of their daily work habits, whereas the PlayStation is a games and recreational machine. So when you're talking about PS4 Pro, that sort of conjures images of someone being a gamer for a living. So you're talking, your top-end esports players and
Exactly.
all that sort of thing. Now,
They're making games a profession.
But do you think that's divisive? Do you think that that's actually going to turn people off potentially because they're like, I'm not that high caliber of, player.
Well,
I'm not
that's
someone
what
who
the
actually...
PS4 Slim is for. Yeah. Or it might be
Yeah.
aspiring. It might be, PS4 Pro, because then I could be a
Now I can be a pro.
MLG gamer.
Yay.
Yeah. MLG gamer, redundant statement. Well done, MG.
Yeah.
DC Comics approves.
I almost would have loved if they had called the slimline model the PS4 Casual and done it that way.
Oh,
That
harsh.
would be great. Yeah.
Harsh.
Look, obviously there's some negative connotations with that, but not all negative. It's it's fine anyway.
Really?
Well, I think people have a good tongue-in-cheek laugh about it, but who knows how that would be taken. So teraflops you mentioned. Now we're probably going to mention this again in a second,
no.
so I'm going to put Ollie on the spot here and see if he
No,
actually knows.
fuck off.
No, because I read that article which does the comparisons, and I get to this point, I'm like, cool, more teraflops, great. No, nope, don't care anymore. I get past that one has more than the other, and then they start talking about converter speeds and all of this, and you know what? It's going to be what it looks like. And right now, that PS4 event, we can't see what 4K looks like, so I'm sure it looks spectacular.
Yeah.
My computer's not
I can.
4K.
My TV can do it.
Your TV can? Awesome. Is someone
Yeah.
streaming in 4K?
No.
No.
I can watch the occasional Rooster Teeth animated shorts in 4K.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, it's going to be
4K stick figures.
lucky for us at events like PAX, hopefully. We'll see something in live, in the flesh, and see it in 4K, and that will be spectacular. But
very
it's one
pretty.
of those things that people are going to have to seek out and see for themselves whilst 4K technology sort of catches up in terms of streaming. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, it's just amazing that they are making a console that will be able to output in 4K, but we have computers now that barely can do it. Like, my computer would probably explode if I tried to.
And yours is pretty beastie.
Yeah, mine is not made by the gnomes. It's made by the dwarves of Middle-earth. Like, it doesn't fuck around.
I think there's a point at which things are going to become too real. Like, I guess I'm the wrong audience, because for me, I look at a game and it's either pretty or it's not. It's not that's prettier than that. So I'm the wrong audience for this, but the argument of one over the other is, for me, more the games. It's more the way that it's marketed, and at the moment, PS4 seems like, for the professionals, for the people who take their gaming seriously, whereas Xbox is for the families and for the fun and the people like playing.
I'm sorry, have you met any Xbox players?
I know, but I'm just talking about what their marketing messages are starting to say about their consoles, not actual people, Ollie. As a consumer, that is my perception.
There was a lot of discussion about whether Sony should have gone with a name like the PlayStation 4K. And I think, some of the commentary around that, which I tend to agree with quite strongly, is that would have been a really good way to, again, alienate a good part of the audience, because it immediately sends a message that if you can't support 4K viewing on a TV or a monitor, then you pretty much are not the target audience for the product at all. And while that may be, in part fairly true, it's not a great marketing move to immediately say you should not be interested in this machine if you don't have the ability to use it to its full potential. There's going to be a lot of people out there that will no doubt just go, PlayStation 4 Pro sounds pretty awesome, I want to be a pro, I'll just buy it, and they don't actually understand the specs and how it actually relates to them as a consumer, and whether they can support the full range of visuals that it opens up. And then there will be people who actually do understand all of that, but having spent a good part of my younger life working retail, I know that a lot of people who consume products like this are idiots. So, yeah, not generalizing too strongly, but there are a lot of people
alienate
out there
the
who
audience.
spend a lot of money and don't know.
It's just Luke hates all console gamers.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I am a console gamer. I don't hate myself that much. So, yeah.
In the end, they've got to start breaking. People are used to their consoles, so they've got to start marketing to try and get new audiences now, and that's difficult for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ollie, being the 4K TV owner, let me just ask you, because this is going to be relevant when it comes to the next little bit of news about this product. Do you actually use the 4K for streaming at the moment? Like, is Netflix currently offering 4K streaming, or is that something that's coming in the future?
I don't think it is in 4K streaming at the moment. I could be very wrong on that.
Because I know YouTube has plans.
Yes, YouTube has plans, and a couple of videos are essentially 4K on there already as well. So I've watched some slow-mo guy videos and a couple of other bits and pieces, and my God, it's gorgeous. But yes, I have not been using it to its fullest potential.
One of the things that was mentioned was that the PS4 Pro is not going to support 4K Blu-ray discs, which seems like a really weird move, considering that PlayStation was considered by many as the pioneer for Blu-ray support back in earlier models. So for them to not support that when the Xbox Scorpio is going to look to do so in the very near future seems ultra strange. So just to wrap up the comparison, I mean, everyone's talking teraflops at the moment, so let's talk teraflops. Now, teraflops, generally speaking, measure of computing speed. That's really all you need to know. So, trillion floating operations per second. If you want to get real technical, you can look it up, Google that stuff, learn all about it. Fantastic. But it's just how fast it is. Now, to give you a bit of an idea, the top range video card on the market for PCs at the moment, which is the NVIDIA GTX 1080, does 8.9 teraflops, just for comparison. So the new PlayStation 4 Neo is going to clock in at about 4.14, so about half that, just under half that, and the Xbox One Scorpio is going to top out at around 6. So it shows that, the Xbox is going to be a considerable amount more powerful when it actually launches, and Microsoft has been taking every opportunity it can to capitalize on that message over the last few days, and really dig the boot in about some of the differences between the two consoles, and it's been quite amusing to watch. But the console wars are alive and well, and at this point, I'd have to say that's probably Microsoft's battle to lose. So it will be interesting to see how that shakes out. If you want to get that bump up, buy a PS4 Pro. If you're happy to wait a year, maybe wait for the Scorpio. I don't know which one you would do. I think timing will be a big part of it, but anyway. Yep. All right. So moving on. Other big stuff that happened this week. Don't want to delve too much into this because it's more tech news than anything else. But you guys are probably aware that the new iPhone 7 launch event took place, and that wouldn't be massively relevant if it wasn't for the fact that Nintendo actually took center stage and actually announced some really, really interesting stuff. So. As it turns out, the Nintendo move into the mobile market is alive and well, and there's actually a new title that's going to be coming out real soon called Super Mario Run, which is basically going to be like a platform-style forward runner available on touch phones in not too far off, I think. It's actually coming out within the next couple of months, if not No, December. Yeah, it's coming out December, so real soon. And there is some footage of it up online. You can check it out. It actually looks pretty cool. Looks very sort of original Mario style. It's got the same aesthetic, just, with continual forward momentum. You can't actually sort of stop running. You can only jump and, get your power-ups and jump on Goombas and jump over Bowser and all that kind of stuff. So, but the big draw, of course, being that you can play with one hand. So... Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo just spamming that nostalgia button at the end of this year with the Nintendo Super Nintendo unit coming out at the same time, so not surprised.
Everything old is new again.
Exactly right.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how much it costs as a licensed-ish product, so we'll see.
Well, they've got a couple of titles coming out next year too, which are apparently going to be free to purchase initially, but there may be paid content sort of moving further on, so... one of them is Animal Crossing's coming to mobile, which I'm sure will be quite popular amongst many circles. And Fire Emblem is the other one too. So that's got me quite interested, if I'm being honest. So, we'll check that out when it actually sort of gets launched. Now, not to forget Mass Effect. So Mass Effect Andromeda had a little bit of attention this week, and it was sort of tied in a bit to the Sony... press event and, some Twitter leaks happening and that kind of thing too. Jamie got all excited about Mass Effect.
Oh my God, so much. So they've announced in Andromeda you'll be able to play male or female like in previous versions. But in this game, in Andromeda, the male and female that you play are going to be brother and sister. They're both going to exist in the game simultaneously. So that's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
Just imagine like cutscenes where the other one comes along, and I wonder if you'll be able to swap between the two. They've also stated that extended family are going to be in the game too, and that in one of the reveal trailers, the person in one of the suits was their dad.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. There's going to be some family dynamics playing in there. It'll be hilarious when you're doing all the romancing and your sibling or parents maybe off to the side going,
Hopefully
what's
you
going
don't
on
accidentally romance your dad. That'd be weird.
Ew.
It reminds me a lot of, and I will warn, there is a minor spoiler here for people who've not played the original Mass Effect.
Star Wars.
If it's been out for a while, so I feel okay about this one, and I'll be vague. So in the original Mass Effect, there are two major characters, and one of them, and one male, one female, and one of them at the end of Mass Effect 1 dies, and basically that's what carries on through the rest of the trilogy. So it kind of, because... both characters kind of exist in the world, but one of them sort of becomes a main character and the other one sort of gets, left in the periphery. It reminds me a little bit of that if the character in question was actually the main protagonist as opposed to a supporting character. So whichever one you choose will end up being a little bit bigger part of the story, perhaps. I don't know how that's going to work out.
Interesting. And they've also announced for fans they're running a competition called Explorers Wanted, where they've released these 2 short scripts of bit parts, and you can actually record yourself reading them, submit it, and you may be flown to their studios to record in their studio.
So exciting.
Super fun for people who are Mad Keen fans.
I vote Olly does the reporter voice.
Yes, one of the scripts is for a reporter.
Definitely do it, Olly.
Funny you mentioned that because they actually posted a little video, like a promo video for Explorers Wanted, and it had the ye olde ham radio style voiceover for the ad, which Ollie does quite well. So, the Fallout sort of style one.
Yep.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. So check out that promo video because it is hilarious. It's really amusing. Yeah, quite a good one. All right, what else we got? Riot. So, unbeknownst to many, Riot is actually celebrating 10 years in the business as of this month, which is pretty remarkable. It started out as a small sort of indie operation and have grown ridiculously big in recent years. So, so big, in fact, that as part of the celebrations, they've actually released a little bit of information about their current numbers for ongoing League of Legends monthly users. And you would maybe be surprised to learn that apparently there are currently 103 million monthly concurrent users for League of Legends.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is nuts. So put that into perspective with what did we announce recently for Overwatch? It was up to about 50 million. I think we said that was about the number.
15, I think.
No, it was much more than that. It was either 30 or 50. I can't remember which one of the two it was. So if you want to learn more about the awesome history of Riot Games and all the stuff that they've had to deal with over the last 10 years, there's pretty interesting stories there. You can check it out. There's a video online which goes through a bit of that. and I've had some tough times over the 10 years, some big esports failures, which are quite fun to learn about, which are worth looking at. So, yeah, have a look. Now, a big one this week for any Blizzard fans and people who know anything at all about this man, Mr. Chris Metzen, who is probably one of the visual figureheads, not to mention the huge amount of work he's done behind the scenes.
Let's just call him a god.
Oh, he's pretty massive.
Let's not, because that's horrible.
So Chris Metzen, known by many as one of the fathers of World of Warcraft. He's done a lot of work over the years with regards to the creative vision of the game. He was part of the core team that puts together the concepts for Overwatch. And he, of course, is the voice for many beloved characters, none the least of which is Thrall from both Hearthstone and World of Warcraft. So the orc shaman chieftain. He's announced his retirement. So nothing sus about that. He hasn't sort of said that he's moving on to any other companies or any other projects. Just literally that he's really, really looking forward to, hanging up his Doomhammer and spending more time with his family. So, yeah.
Little baby.
He's had a massive impact on Blizzard over the years, though, so that's kind of big news for anyone who's in that ecosystem. And, good on him.
One of those, it's one of those kind of nice. It's sad to hear, but it's a nice announcement that someone can go out in their career, really quite a high point in their career, and he's been so instrumental to Blizzard, hence why I would refer to him as a god in the Blizzard universe. He's just been so instrumental to everything that they do, and even if you mention his name and people don't recognise it, which happened earlier this evening with Olly, if you see his photo, you've seen him. Yeah, you recognise him. You see him in all of the Blizzard announcements, and he's there, and he's been such a great and charismatic sort of face for Blizzard for many, 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 many years. So sad to see him go, but well-deserved retirement, and what a career.
Yeah, Guy's certainly had some pretty awesome credits to his name, yeah. So, yeah, sad to see him go. But
small round of applause. Good job.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's living at a good time too. I mean, Legion's sort of being, wildly successful at the moment, and ending on a high like that, I think is pretty good timing. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, on Blizzard, we'll wrap up with just a little bit of Hearthstone news. So there's a couple of big things that have been announced this week, one of which is going to be extremely exciting for all Hearthstone Arena players. So for those who are not entirely familiar, there's really 4 core ways to play Hearthstone. The first, of course, is your regular ranked play. You've also got arena play, which is kind of like a drafting format. So you blindly not entirely blindly, you sort of select cards to fill out a deck, and then you play with it against a predetermined number of opponents. Then you've got your sort of your weekly brawls, and you've got sort of multiplayer sort of options as well. Now, arena is sort of seen by many, because it's been around since the game's inception, as kind of one of the top 2 tiers of playing Hearthstone, and it is extremely popular. It's not possibly as well supported as it should be, and I say possibly, and I mean definitely, because they really haven't iterated on the formula at all since the game started much. I'm probably wrong about that. It's probably been small iterations, but honestly, there's not been a lot. Now, one of the inherent problems with arena format in Hearthstone is that the way that the cards are drafted as you play is very dependent upon the rarity level of the cards in question. So you'll often find that the common cards in Hearthstone end up sort of being available in arena drafts a lot more often, and the rare cards not so much. So when you have an expansion that has common cards for a particular class that are extremely powerful, when those cards start showing up a lot in arena drafts, it makes that class inherently more powerful. And we've sort of ended up with a situation like with the mage class in particular, where a lot of their direct damage dealing spells, which makes them such a powerful class, particularly in arena, are all common spells. So they end up getting a whole bunch of those when they play arena, and the other classes are kind of struggling to keep up. So Blizzard have made some really interesting changes to the arena format, and basically what they've done is they've removed a whole bunch of cards from arena drafts. So they've kind of taken the step of some of the classes that are extremely powerful in the arena format. They've actually removed some of the power cards. Mages in particular have been hit by the nerf bat a little bit in that update, and rogues have lost a couple of key power cards as well. And then the other classes, what they've done is they've turned around and removed a bunch of the common cards that are seen as being pretty crap in that format. So that means that by removing a lot of those terrible cards in arena drafts, they've actually, made the draft pool, more focused in on the ones that are actually helpful to them. So, by nature of removing some of the chaff, they're left with a little bit more of the quality, and hopefully should have a bit of a balancing effect for the rest of arena drafting. So there you go. Pretty positive changes all up. It's gotten fairly excellent feedback, universally online by a lot of the sort of esports Hearthstone pros. So interesting to see where that heads in the near future. And the other one, which is an awesome little bit of news for new and experienced Hearthstone players alike, is Blizzard have just announced a new welcome bundle for the game. Now, this is going to be going live in the next upcoming update, which I think is probably about a week away. And you'll be able to, for the low price, and I do mean super low price because this is an insanely good value deal, of $5 US, you can actually pick up a welcome bundle. It's limited to one per account. So I'll be able to get several. And in the bundle, you actually get 10 classic Hearthstone packs and one random legendary card from the classic set. And that's usually sort of one of the class-specific legendary cards. I've had a good look at the list of legendaries that you stand to get, and the fact that one of them is guaranteed is super awesome, and they're all really good. So if you're looking at getting into Hearthstone, then this could be a sensational way to do it. So there you go. All right, so moving on to our main topic of the evening, which is a timely and appropriate one, all things considered. We thought we'd have a little chat, considering we've all been fairly sick lately, about what games we like to play when we're sick. So I think it's fair to say that your taste for the kinds of video games that you would normally play are not necessarily exactly the same when you're sort of fighting the flu and you're not really feeling yourself and feeling a bit sore and sorry for yourself. So what do we like to play when we're a bit under the weather, guys? What are your sort of preferences? And why? Like, what are your tastes kind of, limited to, considering how you might be feeling, and why is that the case? So, Ollie, let's kick off with you. What do you like to play when you're feeling crappy?
Which is fair, because I was the first one sick. I enjoy... This is the rare time I actually enjoy playing just mindless sandbox games. So Minecraft, I will admit, I did play a little bit of more No Man's Sky, because that game does not involve much thinking. Mm-hmm. I installed a couple of mods, and I wanted to try it out. So anything that's not super fast-paced, because more often than not, you're half brain dead when you're sick, and the last thing you want to do is rely on twitch reflexes at that point.
You stole my answer, man.
You're welcome.
I'm
You're
exactly
welcome.
the same. I'd add maybe some GTA and some Red Dead Redemption or Fallout. Just, wandering, exploring.
And I was going to add RTSs to that as well.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I find RTS very relaxing. I just like the spectacle.
Oh, I don't.
So going
See, I
to
find that funny.
individual game names, Ollie, you would sort of say Minecraft?
For me, Minecraft, No Man's Sky now.
Yep.
Total War. Actually, I had played some Total War Warhammer.
Okay.
I got the update in. That was fun.
Yep.
And then, just some of the smaller, like, indie games that are a bit slower paced. So if I was still playing it, I'd probably play a bit of Ori, because that's not too bad. That's a bit nice and relaxing. Or if I hadn't finished it, Abzu, I would play as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, or Journey. That way I can be like,
Yeah.
prettiness, and switch brain off sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just pass some time.
Yeah. Nice.
There's a mine, because generally when I get sick, I'm never words. I'm very rarely bedridden. I'm usually just like inconvenienced when I'm sick. So I'm still able to do stuff. I'm just feel like crap.
Yeah.
So I generally just I play video games to help me pass that time at that point, because that's the fastest way to get from dawn till dusk.
Yeah. No, that sounds fair. Jam, you sort of mentioned a couple of the same things. So Minecraft's obviously one of yours. Yep.
Oh, for sure, Z's. The hours I've spent in Minecraft weeding and just exploring on sick days. Even relaxing puzzle games, if my brain's switched on, but I'm just physically bleh. Like Witness, those sorts of games too. Just, you get that little, oh, I did it, sense of victory, but there's no one trying to shoot you, and you can pause at any time, or you can say, no, I've had enough of this puzzle.
Yeah.
But just cruisy. I know I've spent many hours, years ago in GTA 3, I'd chuck on Chatterbox, do the taxi side quests, and just drive people around listening to stuff.
To tunes.
Good fun.
I'm honestly surprised by The Witness. That's an interesting pick. You don't find that too mentally intensive when you're not feeling great?
No. Well, it depends. I mean, the really difficult puzzles probably wouldn't do when I'm sick. Probably wouldn't think my way around them. But, it's a beautiful environment, and the progressive puzzles that teach you a new mechanic aren't too complex, and they're quite lovely and fun. And even just wandering the island looking for some of the meta puzzles, so you're not necessarily focused on knocking a whole bunch out, you want to see if you can find the hidden ones.
Yeah, just the exploration stuff.
Yeah, quite fun.
All right. So, Mimo, what about you?
Well, I guess all those sound really fun, but for me, I mean, I'm the same that Ollie. I'm not really a bedridden sick person. Like, the first thing that I'll do if I'm having a sick day is sort of get up and have a shower and get dressed, like I'm going about my normal day, and try and pretend I'm not sick. But I actually prefer, I fall back into old habits, into nostalgia. So I actually this week have not been well, and on the weekend was not well, and pulled out my DS.
Hey.
Had a little go on some Kirby. Me some Kirby, which was really cool. I was hoping to get to some Animal Crossing. I played a Pokemon game for the first time. That was exciting. Thanks to Sam lending me the cartridge. Oh my gosh, that game was too much though. Too much talking. Yamma, 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 yamma. And you can't skip it. It's so frustrating, and they all talk. And also RTS, so same as Ollie. So if I'm feeling a little bit more alive, then I will sit in front of a computer and play a little bit of Stronghold or Civ. I'm really looking forward to the new Civ coming out. So that's kind of got me into the Civ train at the moment. But I tend to want to play older school games. I'm not really... I'm surprised you said Fallout 4. Jam, Fallout 4 would be just too much for me.
Oh, Fallout. Fallout 4 I still haven't played a lot of, but Fallout 3, I remember so many hours spent just wandering. And this is usually, I'm pretty geared up and leveled, so nothing poses much of a threat. It's more of a case of what's around this corner and what new loot can I find, because it's just cruisy with the Galaxy News Radio. Love that music.
I can see the advantage with Fallout sort of having the VATS targeting system, taking a little bit of the Twitch shooter sort of, edge off.
In a pinch.
Yeah. You obviously don't want to rely on it too much, but...
I think what I'm looking for is just like less shooting and violence and things, and more like fluffy animals and Kirby and squishy things and childhood. That's what I'm trying to do when I'm sick. I don't know how Stronghold and Civ fit into that, but they featured heavily
retreating
on my
into your
sick
comfort
days.
zone, I think, is the common theme that I'm hearing there.
Interestingly enough, like WoW used to be that when I was sick, but I didn't feel that draw when I was sick. That's the last thing I wanted to do when I was sick this week. I had opportunities a couple of nights to jump on with you guys, and I just was not feeling right. So I just played some Kirby, ingested some bad guys.
Took your medicine. Yep.
Yeah, I sure did.
Yep. Nice. Well, yeah, it's funny actually. Like I thought I was going to have some fairly different answers to you guys, but there's definitely some consistency there. So the number one thing that I really don't like doing when I'm sick is I don't like playing games that are keyboard intensive. I probably retreat away from the PC a little bit when I'm not feeling great, because I don't like sitting up in a chair and using a keyboard. If I'm slouching back and just playing games that only use the mouse, then yeah, great. But otherwise, I'll probably retreat to the couch and play more console games, or I'll be playing on iPad or even on my iPhone rather than doing PC heavy stuff. So. The only PC games that I'll tend to play a lot when I'm unwell are ones that are just clickers, or, you can play almost exclusively with the mouse. One main one in particular you may have heard of, it's called Hearthstone. So I can play quite a bit of that when I'm sick, but I actually, honestly, it depends on the style of play, because if I'm playing ladder matches, I'll probably steer away from that when I'm unwell, because, making a wrong decision because you're not feeling particularly... mentally coherent cannot be a great thing, and you do require a little bit of concentration to play that game at times, so can be a bit of an issue. But my favourite PC game when I'm unwell is actually an RTS. You guys have picked that fairly well, and it's StarCraft 2. I really enjoy playing StarCraft 2 when I'm not feeling great.
It is a very slow-paced, relaxing game.
It is, yeah. Well, I mean, not playing competitively.
This is why I'm puzzled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, RTSs, and I think this is possibly one of the reasons why that's been, a consistent answer with a few of us, is because, again, it doesn't require that pinpoint accuracy. A lot of it's about resource management and sort of building up forces over time, and you can kind of just, attrition play the enemy in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just slowly sort of build up and roll over them, as opposed to needing to think a huge amount, and the skill is less intensive sort of thing. So, yeah, so I think StarCraft's a great pick. I love playing Minecraft when I'm unwell. But I recently actually pulled out my DS as well, Imogen, my 3DS. So I was playing a bit of Zelda. I pinched one of my son's Mario games, and I've been playing Super Mario Land.
Well, I'm still in the super old school. Mine's not a 3DS, but
Yeah,
still
well,
the
look,
PS Lite.
It's a 3DS in
Still going.
name only. I never use the 3D functionality at all. So
Yeah.
just turn it off pretty much the whole time.
I just realised I should have been playing Mellow.
Oh, when you're
Damn it.
unwell? I don't know. Yeah. That
I love
requires
that
you to
game.
actually socialise with people unless you want to just play against randoms.
Oh, I just play against
Yeah.
randoms and get that dice
You
pack. I
gotta-
think I've missed out on that window now.
Yeah.
You got to
yeah.
commit to
Yeah.
such a long
To a
time.
whole game.
It's
That's
tricky.
true. That's true.
Yeah. Actually, that's another good point. I think games that you can actually put down on short notice and not have to wait for, predetermined save points are good as well, because you never know when you might want to step away from, what you're doing immediately and run to
Have
the
a nap.
bathroom or have a nap or, exactly. Yeah. So that's a good one.
Spontaneous nap occurs. It was super
Naps.
effective.
Yeah, well, if you suddenly, head desk, you don't want there to be severe consequences.
I'm very close to that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Jam has done fantastically well, so we are going to cut tonight's episode short. And thank you, everybody, for bearing with our 6 states. So hopefully we've given
We all
you a
get
few...
participation ribbons.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's have ribbons.
You done good. So if anyone out there is feeling a bit under the weather like we have been, then maybe there's a few games that we've given you a reason to check out again. So there you go. And I hope to not feel the need to play any of those in the next week, because I would rather be well and get back to doing Overwatch competitive and World of Warcraft and all the sorts of stuff that actually requires a little bit of concentration to, enjoy and all those good things. So there you go. So are we actually all on the mend, or are we descending deeper into the muck?
No.
I know Jan,
I-
you're probably-
Thoroughly on
thought
the
I-
mend.
yeah.
I thought I was on the mend until about 20 minutes ago, and now I'm starting to feel like death again.
Oh,
That could just
dear.
be because I'm tired.
Oh, well.
I today marks 2 weeks since I got it, and I thought I was
Oh,
getting better, and I
Jan.
woke up like this. I was like, no way. No,
I woke up
goddamn
like
way.
this.
You can't see, but there are tissues just everywhere.
Well, I just want to point out to everybody, I think that, the dedication of our team tonight is commendable. Well done, everybody. I think
Good
you've
job,
all
High
everybody.
five.
a huge
Golf
amount of
clap.
effort in, and to me, you are all fully sick. Thank you.
Yeah, fully sick.
Oh, there we
Let's
go.
He was waiting the entire episode
Yep.
for that.
Oh, he was
I
holding
may
on to
just
it.
have been. Anyway, so in the meantime, if you want to get hold of us, you can do so at all the usual places. So send us an email, mail@partyloaded.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/partyloaded, on Twitter @partyloadedshow, and you can check us out at all those places and let us know if you've got any favourite games when you're feeling a bit ill. We will be back next week, hopefully all feeling a hell of a lot better and not complaining about things like this any longer. Would be awesome to remember that it's no longer winter and we're actually heading into the warmer months now. That would be great.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that actually plays out. Anyway, I'm gonna let these guys or girls, I should say, get to bed. Get their rest, do the right thing. So we're out. See you next week, everybody. Thanks again for listening, and ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye.
The Party Loaded podcast is a Channel Endgame production. For this and more great gaming content, bookmark channelendgame.com.